Hi, here again with my friend Vicki Perry, two grandmas and a microphone, number 2. And I posted this morning on Instagram before I came over here that we were going to do this, to stay tuned. And a part of me is like, who's going to watch this? Who cares what two grandmas have to say? But I thought, of course we need to do this, and it's very important what two grandmas have to say, don't you think?
I
Right?
do, yes.
So today, it's been a kind of a crazy week, and just becoming more aware has made me a little out of my mind. There's so much out there, and there's so many disturbing things to look at. It has kind of made me a little sick to my stomach, you know? And I just want to make sure we're rolling here. Yep. So I watched on YouTube Erin Brockovich, The Water Lady, and Rich Roll. And it was just so disturbing to me, and just the cancer rates and all these horrible things that have happened to people because their water is not drinkable in the United States of America. And around the world, but we'll just focus on our own little country here because that's all we can deal with, right? So they just talked about, and then Rich Roll brought up, is like, where are these government agencies that are supposed to be protecting us? This is crazy. You know, you can't trust the government to take care of our drinking water. So I looked up who was the head of the EPA. And, oh my God, it was so disturbing to me. And, you know, we should know this stuff. Do I know this stuff? No, I don't, but now I know, and I will share it with you. Andrew Wheeler, who is a coal lobbyist, is the head of the Environmental Protection Agency. And that just doesn't seem quite right.
Very disturbing. Very disturbing.
I mean, maybe he's a changed man or something, but I don't think so. So I went on his bio on the EPA, and he sounds like, you know, a wonderful man, and he was an Eagle Scout as a kid. I guess he went camping, and that makes him okay to be the head of the EPA. I don't know, but give your little insight about Andrew Wheeler, because I know Vicki, she loves to do her research.
Well, you know, it wasn't so much Andrew Wheeler, which I'm very aware that since we've had a new administration in 2016, everything that was done prior having to do with our environment and for the positive side of protecting our environment and decreasing the likelihood of the worst case scenarios in the environment. Everything has been taken away. And I was just reading a little bit about that and telling Mary how sad it makes me. It makes me very sad. Like I already knew it, but reading about it and seeing the differences, maybe I had some hope that this administration has some sort of platform to protect, but they have nothing. Everything that Obama
They have something to protect, but not the
but no, wait a minute, not our environment. It's money, right?
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
industry and their profits,
Right.
which is very sad.
Yes.
I don't know, I was telling Mary that 1984 was the first bill ever put into our Senate about protecting our environment, and it was put by Joe Biden. I was very impressed with that.
Right.
And his work with the environment continued with Obama. They put the most effort into bills and plans and programs to protect our environment. Everything, every single thing they did has been reversed by this administration.
Did you hear that?
Every single thing. I mean, there were 66, as of May, there were 66 programs to help our environment that were taken away by this administration. And there's 34 more that he's working on to get rid of. It made me start to cry, truthfully. I was very sad. I mean, I knew it, but to read it in this nonpartisan article written by the climate organization was very sad. And what we could do is vote. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know. And Biden continued to work with Obama. A lot of what he did in the Obama administration was very wonderful stuff. They were also put in $90 billion into investment to help clean energy, to help support and jumpstart organizations and businesses around clean energy.
Right.
And that also, you know,
It's
has
gone.
been. Well, I know when I was with a new person in investing, he was recommending clean energy and going the green route
Right.
for investment. So that
Right.
was
Right.
that was amazing. So there are companies and organizations, but it's hard for me to think that our own government is fighting this. Like we're doing things on individual levels, but to not have a country that supports it
Right.
is very upsetting.
Yes. So that's why I became an independent, and that's why I think this is the most, I mean, it's such an important election, and it's so important to vote. So important to vote.
And to get the facts, right?
Right.
I mean, to know this reality. We were talking about how does anyone support not protecting our environment? It's very hard. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around that.
I mean, some people will say the money, we shouldn't, you can't be spending the money, but they spend money on everything.
You're going to spend it in one way or another.
Right.
Might as well do it on this.
Yes,
Is
right.
positive.
I mean, how much do all these so-called natural disasters cost, It's horrible, it's horrible.
So even if you don't believe in the climate, the warming of the climate, I still think there's an idea of preventing the worst case scenarios that's very smart, educated. That was another thing. A lot of the scientists that we had working on this whole idea of
Right.
climate were taken away out of this administration, which again.
And who was put in, Vicki?
People that are ahead of the fossil fuel, right? For heads of different organizations, yeah. And the other thing that was very alarming was I read that once this administration in 2016, Trump and his buddies, they took out the definition of climate change and what it was all about out of the EPA site. It's no longer there.
Wow.
That was another startling. And I remember feeling so sad in 2000, when we were taken out, I think it was 2017 or so, when we didn't, but Trump and his administration took us out of the Paris Treaty Agreement that involved the world, and we're one of 3 countries that are not participating. So
And this has got to be a world effort, or
I agree.
right?
Yeah.
And all right, so then, as from the last video, you guys know that I voted for Trump, and I sit here listening to all this, and it just, oh my gosh. But our friend Diane would tell me these things, and I'd be like, I can't, it'll be fine. I couldn't hardly believe it. It
Sure.
was like, somebody's got to be looking out for us. It'll be fine. But apparently, it might not be fine. It might not be fine.
Well, it would if we vote. Oh, I don't know if you know everything that Biden is doing. He's really big on the environment and protecting the environment. He continues to be a big proponent of protecting our environment the best we can. He has a lot already in place, and you said you watched a webinar.
I watched a webinar this week because it was Tom Steyer, who he was California that ran for president as well, and his big platform was climate change. So Biden put together a group of people, a board for climate advice. And it was a very impressive board. There was a business guy there. There was a woman from New Mexico, I forget her name, but she's all concerned about the public lands used for fracking in New Mexico.
Right.
The woman that was EPA from the Clinton era was on it. And so it was a very impressive group of people that were very concerned about the environment and how it has to change. So Biden wants to do, I think it's Build Back America, and he wants to invest, trillions of dollars into the infrastructure to support renewable energy, and he wants to put 500,000 charging stations across the country so people can have their electric cars and not have to worry about how I'm going to charge my car when I'm in the middle of North Dakota or wherever you are. So it was very impressive. And they're also talked about the environmental justice and these people that live in these poor communities, how it's so toxic and no one really does anything for them.
Exactly.
And all right, so COVID-19, that's another huge issue. Those poor people in those toxic area, their rates are so much higher than other communities. So I just feel that, all right, so what do I know? But I just feel if we were a healthier country, we wouldn't have all these deaths from COVID-19. And if we were a cleaner country, clean water, clean air, clean food,
Couldn't hurt.
You know?
That's how I look. Certainly couldn't hurt.
Right, and I think that's the only way for us to go if we're going to survive, and to survive well, and to live well. So I wanted to end with the Kiss the Ground. Did you want to put anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so let's end in a helpful note. I just started to watch Kiss the Ground, but I've been following this work for a while with Zach Bush and regenerative agriculture, and our friend Diane is all into this. I've learned a lot from her, and they talk about the quality of our soil. It can be improved by regenerative agriculture, and the soil can sequester the carbon from the atmosphere, so that will help reduce all those carbon emissions. And it's just really a win-win. We won't be spraying our crops the way we're spraying them. It won't be running off into the waterways, so we'll have cleaner water. So a president, you know, this can all be grassroots and great, but if we had a government that supported this, and I know
Sure.
that that Joe Biden will support this,
I agree.
you know? And I think he would be open to listening
Oh,
to
yeah.
this and
Oh,
supporting this, rather than investing in these monocrops and things that just are no longer working and supporting the planet.
It's great. I mean, it is great, and I feel hopeful too. But I do believe we need to get out there and vote. And vote if this is important to us, if the environment is important to you. Do your research. Look who's doing what with the environment, who supports making sure that we do our best to prevent the worst possible scenarios with climate change and with pollution. You know.
And the health of our kids, our health of our grandkids, all of this is so important.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mary.
All right, 2 wise grandmas, 2 grandmas in a microphone.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for listening. We love to hear your comments and concerns, and have a great day. Thank you.